January 20th, 2015. A couple things about the post yesterday. There's some movies that came out when I was watching the Grammys and had a lot to do. There's one called Selma, and it's about the march, Martin Luther King march on March for Peace, and it was very informational. There was two other nominees that night. There was one called The Normal Heart, which was real good. We did see that. Gordon pulled that up and we watched it. And it's about the days of early AIDS epidemic, and how people gathered together and started to do their protest and try to get some reaction from the rest of the world, from this country, of how to help. We need help. People are dying. Please, somebody pay attention. The other one was called Pride, and that was based in England. There was when the mines shut down, there was a miner strike. They weren't getting enough help, and it was really during the hard times, and it showed that one of the gay groups bonded together and raised money to help the poor miners. And it's very good show. So if you see either one of those, The Normal Heart or Pride, take time. Even Selma should be very good. Check those out. I've seen The Normal Heart and Pride was pretty good. How that kind of steps in and speaks of how we help when it comes down to it. We ask for help, and we bond together, and there's strength in numbers. And very good. Just wanted to touch back. I didn't get to talk on that last night. The other thing we watched on my days off, I get to sit around and Gordon and I will kind of catch up on some of the shows that we had recorded during the week, and we'll watch a movie or two. And one that he had saved, he thought I'd be very interested in, is about Muscle Shoals. And all I could think about Muscle Shoals, I thought it was a person who was in the recording industry and helped produce albums and records, but actually it's a place. There's a river, Tennessee River, that flows through Alabama, and this one little town called Muscle Shoals was kind of a hotbed of recording. They had a couple of recording places, and one original guy who started it, and then the spinoff. Some of his guys spin off and started their own recording studio there. Lots of names and people came and recorded there, and it was very interesting. It was like one of those PBS specials. But Muscle Shoals was fantastic. I guess the story behind that is that, which was interesting, is that the guy who originally was talking. The producer, the guy who does all the recording, sits behind and moves all and kind of fine tunes. You record it and then makes it where it's publishable and then sells it to a publishing company. But he was telling the story of the river there, that there was always some type of you could hear the lady singing. The river would sing to you. It was just kind of a magical place. And the story was that this Indian gal was taken from the land when they had all the Indian migrations, and I forgot to say what type of Indians they were, but they were one of those that we all got shipped down to Oklahoma, and she was just so longing for her roots that she walked all the way back. And he said it took her 5 years to walk back to that place where she grew up and belonged, and you can still hear her. This kind of river kind of calls and echoes her name and the love and the music, and it's just kind of a magical place. And I think when I did the interview with all these artists, is that they said there was just something about the place that really brought out the best of all the music. It is really interesting. The other story, and I'm going to play a song. I could see one of the surprise concerts last year was Leonard Skinner. It's just a spur of the moment thing, and TJ and I just went. We just decided to count down to like 2 weeks. And it's like, let's do it, let's go, and we did. And I'm glad we did because it's one of the big groups of the '70s, and they have a tragic surrounding about them. But when they were there, they did a lot of recording since they're from Alabama. Did a lot of recording in Muscle Shoals placed there. And the one story that was their famous song is Freebird, and it starts out with a long piano intro, and the guy who was the guys had went to lunch and stuff, and the piano guy was sitting there and he was playing. And they came in and heard him playing this he has a professional like concert pianist styling, and questioned. They said, really like that. I said, why didn't you play that before? And I said, well, we think you'd like it because if you're a rock and roll band, you don't really play symphony type music. But they figured out how to incorporate it into a song, and it was really a long song. I think even the producer said it's like a 9-minute song, and the album company wanted to shorten it down to like 3 minutes. He said, nope, can't do it. It's like, can you shorten it down to 7 minutes? Nope. 4 minutes? Nope. 3 minutes? Nope. So he's like, you can't shorten it. It's just the song in itself kind of holds water. And it came to be out their biggest #1 song of their career. And to see that live was pretty good. And I'll talk more of them later this year. But here we go. Maynard Skinner, Freebird, recorded Muscle Shoals Studios in along the famous river, Alabama. But piano. I always liked that. They didn't have music that was very good. It's okay. That's all I have to say. One, 20,